Hi, Sean.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
A great host. Show is great. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
One mic. All I need is one mic. That's all I need.
Anything interesting in the paper?
Yeah, 200 arrested at Vietnam Day peace demonstration. 200. They should have thrown a whole bunch of them in the can. Look at that picture there. Here they are, throwing all kinds of junk and jeepers at officers of the law. Desecrating on the American flag. What the hell do them peaceniks want, anyhow?
Well, I think they just don't like the idea of America fighting an illegal and immoral war.
Well, if they don't like it, they can lump it. Take it down the road and dump it.
What are you saying America love it or leave it?
That's right. It's a free country, so am's great.
Well, that would include me too, Mr. Bunker.
Then toodly you to you too.
Well, what would our leaving solve? I mean, with or without protesters, this country would still have the same problems.
What problem?
Well, it's the war, the racial problem, the economic problem, the pollution problem.
Oh, come on, if you want to nitpick.
Nitpick? Let me tell you something, Mr. Bunker.
No, let me tell you something, Mr. Stivic. You are a meathead. A meathead, dead from the neck up. Meathead.
Shelley Winter Show live, local, topical, and relevant, my friends. And today we mourn the loss of Rob Reiner. For me, Rob Reiner was Mike Stivic. I know he's a celebrated director. I recognize that. Great movies, A Few Good Men, When Harry Met Sally, This Is Spinal Tap, and more. And I know that's the celebration, right? Those movies. As a director, he was a great director. But I remember him, and I know him as Mike Stivic from All in the Family. I grew up watching All in the Family, and even as a young kid, what I appreciated, not only the humor of the interactions between Archie Bunker, Carol O'Connor, and Rob Reiner, but I also appreciated Rob Reiner's arguments. Even as a child, I appreciated him, hold on. Had to fix the camera. So I like the camera because I post on Facebook. So I want to finish up, though. But I appreciated him and his takes because I was able as a child to listen to political debates, even in comedic form. And I appreciated that. And I would listen and have my take even as a small child. Oh, Archie makes sense. But more than likely at that time, because I was so young, the thing that sounded good came from Rob Reiner, which is why during Rob Reiner's life, since Trump 2017, I never had a problem with his Twitter feed because it was him as Mike Stivic. Now understand this. He was Rob Reiner, but he was also Mike Stivic to me. Meathead. You dumb Pollock, as Archie would call him often. So his Twitter feed matched what I knew him or how I knew him as an actor. It matched it completely. Now, I don't know if obviously it was who he was, but it matched it completely. I didn't agree with him, but that's okay because I had memories, entrenched memories of sitting on watching All in the Family with my family, my mom especially, and we would laugh. And so those were my earliest memories. And so as I got older, and I'm now watching this political scene, and I'm covering the political scene because I'm on the radio, Mike Stivic, Rob Reiner are the same person, especially on his Twitter feed. And so I was outraged when I saw Donald Trump's Truth Social. And let me now talk from a human perspective, and then I'll talk about the political ramifications, okay? From a human perspective, I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. Years ago, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I went to church with my grandmother and my mom and my grandfather every single Sunday until I turned 18 and went off to college. There was a deacon on the deaconess on the deaconess board with my grandmother. It's an older woman. She lived by herself, never married, never had any children, and she wasn't the nicest lady, right? She was just a mean old lady. I could see it then. Many people in the church saw it then. She was just a mean lady. And my grandmother did not like her. It's probably one of the only people in my entire life I ever met that my grandmother had a cross word to say about that person. And so she would come home on Sundays, and I would come home usually with them to eat Sunday dinner. My mom would be with me. Sometime my mom went because, she's a younger woman, and she went out. She might have had something to do on Sundays. But a lot of times coming home from church when I was in that 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old range, I would come home with my grandparents. And I would hear her and my grandfather talking about this woman. And inevitably, my grandmother would be going off. She never cursed. She never drank or anything like that. Once a year, she'd have a sip of Manischewitz wine on New Year's Eve that night when it turned 12 midnight. She'd take a sip. That was it. But she never cursed. And she would not like this lady. And she'd be telling my grandfather about this woman, what she did today on Sunday. And she was always upset. She didn't like the woman. The woman didn't like her. So when the lady passed away, I heard my grandmother talking about the lady passing away. So I said to my grandmother at the time, I said, Grandma, you didn't like this lady. Why are you saddened or, kind of not upset, but, you're saddened, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, about the woman's death? I'm a young kid. I'm just asking. I'm just curious. And she says, because you don't celebrate anybody's death. And she said, the reason why. And I said, but Grandma, you didn't like her. She says, yes, I didn't like her, but someone somewhere did love her. And someone somewhere is sad at her death. And you never, ever celebrate someone dying, even if it's someone you may not have liked in life. So she said to me, and I'll never forget it, because my grandmother said it to me. And so I've lived my life like that. There have been people that I knew did not like me to my core, people who had robbed me, people who have taken advantage, people who had lied behind my back, and some tragic thing happened to them. I never celebrated. I never cheered. I never smiled because of what my grandmother taught me. Now, I get the idea that Rob Reiner attacked Trump personally. I get the idea that he said bad things about Donald Trump. I get all of that. But my grandmother taught me, you never speak ill of the dead. And the same thing happened when Colin Powell passed away. I was furious at Donald Trump's post during his death because I said I remembered what my grandmother taught me. You never speak ill of the death, even if it's someone that you didn't like or did not like you. These lessons stay with me throughout my life. And I don't care if you say it's right or wrong. I don't care if you make examples or give me reasons. Well, he was personally attacking the president. I don't care about any of that. I just know what my grandmother taught me. You never speak ill of the dead. Now let's skip ahead to all the excuses that I'm hearing from people who are cheering what Donald Trump said about Rob Reiner in death. I'm sorry, he didn't just die. He was murdered by his son alongside his wife and the mother of this boy, I believe. He was murdered, throats slit. How do you say anything negative about that person? I don't care how much that person attacked you. You're the president of the United States of America. You're not a random person. You're the president of the United States of America. As the president of the United States of America, the leader of the known free world, you must conduct yourself separately than everyone else, especially if a short few months ago, you, your vice president, and every single MAGA member in the known universe went off on random strangers for speaking ill of Charlie Kirk. Teachers, firefighters, doctors, random people. You don't even know them. Good for Charlie Kirk. He got what he deserved. Fire that person. Get rid of that person. I remember someone calling into my show when I was talking about it saying, this is disgusting that you want people fired for speaking ill of Charlie Kirk. And people said to me, would you want someone like that teaching your children? Well, use that same logic now. Would you want someone like that running and this country as leader of the free world? Ladies and gentlemen, I say it all the time. Let me say it to you again. When Charlie Kirk was killed, murdered, assassinated, viciously and heinously and disgustingly murdered in front of people, thousands of people, I said to MAGA people, there's going to come a point in time when someone you dislike is going to be murdered. Will you respond in kind? And I'm looking at so many of you saying, good for Donald Trump. Good for Donald Trump. He kept it real. No, he didn't. It was undignified, it was uncouth, and it was absolutely disgusting. And anybody that celebrates it, anybody that defends it, I bet you, dollars to donuts, that when the left went off on Charlie Kirk, you said something entirely different. And when the left did, it was random people. Random people. Teachers, firefighters, cops. Would you want to be operated on by a doctor who thinks like this? I don't know. But would you want to have a president who thinks like that? Intellectual honesty is everything. Because when you don't have intellectual honesty, you're only lying to yourself. Listen to me again. When you don't have intellectual honesty, you're only lying to yourself. Period. You don't have to lie to me. I don't care if you lie to me. But when you don't have intellectual honesty, when you don't have moral principles that you stand on no matter who does it or what side does it or what personality does it, if you don't have a base of moral principle to stand on, you're lying to yourself. And if you're 35 or older and you're still lying to yourself, you're completely lost as a human being. The Shelley Winter Show. We will be right back.